Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name. Gonna try to do a quick rundown of the 1.4 live stream, save you a little bit of time so we could talk about just the good things, the bad things, and that way you don't have to spend so much time. And I'm gonna be honest here. This was the best live stream they have done thus far, and to me, it wasn't even close. It was an hour of kind of all killer, no filler. It was not the fastest paced, but for the most part, pretty much everything was good. So let's go over it really quick. Mindscape here. What is Mindscape? This is a new progression system they are adding to the game. Let's see if I can find right here. So this is a new progression system they're adding to the game for every character. And this is going to basically just make your character stronger. You are going to use currency that you get every day for free based on your Velvet Trial stars. So I think it's like every 3 to 5 stars you get on Velvet Trials, you will unlock you will get more daily experience. There's my alarm to get ready for work. So this is actually really cool. So Mindscape is just a way to upgrade all your characters. It's kind of a win-win from design standpoint. And apparently it's already in CN, but they're bringing it here like 4 or 5 months early. But why it's a win from design is it is content to make your favorite character stronger, right? I don't love that, but a lot of people do. It also is completely free as of now. It's just going to be time gated, and it's encouraging you to do content that's already in the game, the Velvet Trials, which already has rewards. So now you're getting more incentive to do that, and you're now getting power from doing that to thus make it also easier to do more of it. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Mindscape, I think, as far as progression systems go, is actually a really, really fun. It's a really good way to do it. It's not with a giant price tag on it. It is going to be primarily free to play, time gated, but it also encourages you to do content, which I think is fun. They did say that they're expecting you to get between like 70 to was it 7 to 14,000 more of these points, something like that, or maybe it was 70,000 more of these points because they're bringing it earlier. So next, so that's going to be good. But next, the Thorn of Battle. This is a really, really good mode so far, it seems to me. Let's go ahead and skip ahead and see if we can find it. So there is going to be a bunch of boss battles, and they are going to have 3 difficulty options, I believe: normal, hard, and nightmare for level 20, 50, and 80 wonders, basically. I think you unlock it once you hit level 25 as well. Also, for the first part, you need to be level 55 to unlock that. So you're going to beat this on normal and hard and on nightmare. And then you're going to get rewards. However, there are bosses with unique stuff, and then there's a custom difficulty in which you could select a bunch of different custom things to increase like the difficulty level. So this should be a way for people to get a bunch of rewards for free, and also for more whaley people like myself to actually challenge themselves. Worth noting, they did specifically say that nearly all the rewards will be obtainable for for just clearing normal and hard. So if you're rank level 55, you should be able to clear nearly everything and like get this whole thing. And then there will be a much smaller amount, but still like noticeable rewards if you're able to push the really, really hard content in the future. So that is going to be, this again seems kind of like a 10 out of 10 thing for me. It gives you tons of good rewards for doing the easier stuff, and then it incentivizes you to push higher and higher and higher. And in fact, the highest level looks like it only has a badge, which is exactly the kind of stuff I want to see. So hopefully we actually have some pretty difficult fights in the game, which would be good. The rewards we're getting looks like it's all over the place, but what's important is that these are the currency that gives you like that new wonder weapon and the ability to rank it up. So this could be a very good, it should be a good way for us to get a lot of new wonder weapon, dagger currency, and basically get closer to clearing out that shop. The Metro of Desire is getting an update of an entire new track. So the new track, because this is all that we have right now is the Desire track, and they're adding a whole secondary track. So this is going to be, it's 4 bosses, but it's 3 new bosses. And they said they adjusted these, but I don't know if they actually meant they adjusted all of these or if they just changed these out for the 2 new ones. So there's new mechanics, and then there might be some more strategy or synergies and strategies with these here. And honestly, it's just a lot more content. They did say they're adding a bunch of rewards. I don't think they went specifically into what the rewards are. But again, this is more permanent content anyway, so this is not like an SOS rush. But this is something that is exciting. It's just a lot more content, and I honestly think that it's the Metro Desire is very fun, so a bunch of new content for that is going to be fun to do. As far as Phoebe buffs, I talked about Phoebe already, and they adjusted like literally all of her skills like a little bit. But the one thing I want to mention the most is that 5-star weapon used to have for every 2 cocktails spent, 55% chance to reduce her cooldown times by 1 turn. This is now a 100% at all levels. So if you get 1 copy of her weapon and you have her, that's a pretty big buff. Like that's large. They also did literally touch every one of her skills to make it all easier to do. Like this goes up to 8.7. This only requires 230 attack, whatever, for every 1%. And this increases critical damage. So she's overall going to be quite a bit stronger. She still she appears to me to be an easy skip unless you're like a leaderboard number chaser. But I mean, you know, so to each their own. And then one thing that was very unclear to me was something like they talked about buffing characters, like a lot about buffing characters. They said that they wanted to, like, it's unclear to me, but it sounds like they buffed every character in the game almost, but they didn't give any details on it. So it's not clear to me. Like, they did this, right? Lufel previously had fewer advantages compared to other healers. His buff had made it easier to inflict, but it's not because this is like such bad information. It doesn't make it clear to me if these are buffs that kind of were out on day one. They're like, hey, in CN, Lufel launched much weaker, and so for when Global came out, he was buffed, kind of like all the other buffs have been. Or if they're saying specifically that we are now going to buff him, so he will be changed in, you know, he's going to be stronger now. To me, it sounds like they already had buffed him, so he's not going to change at all. They basically said this for every character, right? I mean, they listed only Lufel and Haruna, but they basically said something along the lines of like, we've basically touched every character, right? So it sounds like either every character is getting buffs, or they already got their buffs and we're using the buffed versions of them. It's just not very clear to me right now with their terminology and what they shared. But this is something we'll wait and see. I'm hoping that we get buffs on 4-star characters. I love that. That is consumer friendly. When they buff Phoebe, that's not consumer friendly. That's encouraging you to try to spend more money. When they buff 4-star characters, that's consumer friendly because it's doing the opposite. It's encouraging you to not spend money. Also, they are having, I don't know if they're doing a creator program, but they do have a content creator little update going on where you get a free copy of Phoebe. And so I think that's pretty cool. I'll be throwing my hat in that ring today and tomorrow, stuff like that. So yeah, guys, that is kind of everything there was. I know I went through it a little bit fast, but it took me an hour to watch that. And I got to go to work, so got to get this out. But yeah, honestly, very good. Great new progression system. Great new combat, you know, what appears to be a great new combat battle system. And then updating already one of my favorite modes in the game, buffing characters, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff. It seems good. So yeah, overall, I'm very positive. 1.4 I thought would be the most dud of all the patches. Turns out it's probably my favorite patch so far in the game. And then next up, we got 2.0, which is going to be the biggest patch. So it's a good time to be a fan of the game. And yeah, this is the very first time they've done one of these, and I haven't felt like they've shot themselves in the foot. It felt like this was just a great update. Anyway, guys, much love per platypus is per platypus. I'll see you guys on the flip flops. Bye.
Watch the views go up. Content king, never down, always showing up, hitting milestones. The fame never lets up. Click that link, diving deep, never get enough. Gaming, blogging, every trend, always first.